What?
It'd be like arguing about who's going to make a faster video.
Are we live?
Big clip.
Did everybody hear what I just said? What I shouldn't have said on the public?
Hope not.
Or was that not live yet?
Just trying to click it fast enough so everyone would hear it.
Oh, but they didn't. Okay, cool.
About you and Gary McCready sharing nudes
Yep, we're friends.
of each
That wasn't
other.
what I was talking about, dummy.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I asked Gary to come on our show at one point.
All you got to do, if you guys want to have him on,
He said, "Oh, I really appreciate the offer. I'm just really busy."
Oh,
yeah. He said he had to wash his hair, his beard.
I think he'd be a good get. We should get him on.
He said to ask him again in the future.
Yeah,
you only get one shot with me. That's it.
That's it. You lost your chance now, Gary.
We're in the big time now, so you know we're so big now we can't handle normal guests. So
no, he can come on. He's cool.
Yeah, he can come on. Definitely come on. I just booked a podcast with Trevor, so at HR.
Cool.
Gonna do his podcast at HR. So that's cool.
Yeah,
HR.
I seen Trevor posted something about him doing a podcast with somebody else too at AHR. Some not really an unknown, but something kind of big news. But
there's gonna be a lot. The podcasting stuff at AHR is huge. Oh, spoiler alert! I haven't announced it yet, but I did share it with my friends, and I shared it with my members and my channel supporters. I am releasing my first video podcast. Yeah, I'm releasing my first. It's kind of a video podcast. It's my first foray into podcasting, so it'll be coming out soon. I shared it with my supporters, and like I said, it'll come to the public here within the next week, probably.
Did you say it's your first foray into podcasting?
That's right, I did. Do you not like my rich person speak?
I mean, really, it's just like live streaming, only you're just using the audio instead of the entire bundle of.
That's how rich people speak. We say foray. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Don't even know. So what is up, everybody? I see a lot of the regulars in here. Lots of the regulars.
On the rig.
On the rig. Hey, we're recording right now. That's new.
I'm on the
recording button popping up on the right.
Before I forget, we got to say hi to Mr. Randy Ravioli, his little buddy Luke.
Sounds like Luke might have a messed up bark box right now.
I almost forgot where that button was. Did
you say a messed up fart box?
Yeah, he has a bark box. It's messed up.
Oh, I thought you said a messed up fart box.
No.
Speaking of fart box.
What does Luke have a messed up fart box? What has Randy been doing back there?
Zaz in the house. Z Hunter.
What is
Z Hunter?
Lots of great people in here. See Brett,
Jonathan,
podcast,
Chipmunk.
I can't see nothing.
Susie, Jessica, everything HVACR, Hambones in here.
Anonymous.
Peter Smart.
I bet his hair's all greasy again.
Jason Johnson. Lots of great people. So what is up, everybody?
What's going on?
Welcome to the show, everybody.
I just got back from Washington, D.C.
How'd that go? I bet you that was expensive.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you just got back from washing your clothes.
Oh, did that too.
But then you put in the DC.
Yeah.
How was that anyways?
It was pretty cool. A
lot
of stuff to manual JS D&T training and certification. Reminds me, I have to turn in my test, which I haven't done yet.
It's pretty intense, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Do you think it's a class for like the general technician, or do you think they need to be like a?
No.
I actually I was sitting down. I don't know if it was during lunch or I was hanging out with Ed, trying to smooch him up a little bit after the class. And I asked him, I'm like, out of whenever you're doing these classes, how many of the students do you think retain stuff, and actually like understand what you're going through? And he's like, I think 25% of the people retain 10% of the stuff I go over. I said, whoa. All right, cool.
I would think if you're there, you're gonna keep it in your head a little bit. You know what
I mean, I was working on it.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense class.
I had a nice little meeting with Chris Hughes and Steve Rogers before the show, just like a little going over my house project stuff. So that's pretty cool. We got some cool ideas about different ways I can measure certain things in my house. So
you need to move this project along, step it up a notch or two. You know,
this is going just at the perfect pace.
I think the Titanic was built faster than this project in Chris's house.
I think
I never even
found it fast.
I never even told it. I told like when I emailed Energy Conservatory and Retrotech to say I wanted to do this project and Bill Spone and stuff, I told them that this was going to be happening fall and winter. So all through the fall and the winter.
So here's the thing.
Like 2022 and 23 and 24.
We started to talk about I need to figure out what kind of registers you're using. I want to move forward with this design. Let's get it done. Get it in. Come on. You're dragging your feet on this thing.
Oh, guys, guess what? Adam just got home from vacation and he's ready. Let's do it now.
Now. I actually started working on it, and then you wouldn't answer me. I'm like, all right.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah. I'm going to hang
it
up.
But why do you need to know what kind of registry you want?
Thank you, Bill. So everybody else can know. Awesome.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Some
because we're designing
because I want to see
needs to be.
Like how many registers are we hitting per room based on like what we're using. Is he using brand A, brand B, brand C, whatever? Are we going to have
doesn't that affect your load calculations, your airflow calculations? It affects something, I assume.
It does. It affects your duct design.
Yes, that's what I was going for.
We're getting close though. We are in the home stretch as far as coming up with a full load calculation.
We kind of figured out what equipment we're using. We kind of did.
Which one was it?
I'm fully curious. We're not supposed to
talk saying it,
but I'm fully expecting Chris to change his mind like 2 days from now.
100%.
Because I've talked about equipment. I've talked about brands. Some people may think they know what I'm going with, but then the other day I was getting quotes for an Infinity system, and then I'm getting quotes for a Linux system. I'm all over the place. And Adam's like, you don't need an Infinity system. And since he told me I didn't, now it makes me want it even more. And I'm going all over the place. So
stupid.
I'm going everywhere. I'm like, man, let's go big. Let's blow it out of the water. Or then I can go totally opposite and go super cheap and just do a 14 SEER conventional single stage.
You're going to end up. You are going to. This guy's going to be installing ducts in his attic when it starts getting hot again. That's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, probably.
Who's going to do your sheet metal work, Chris? Or are you just going to have it prefabbed from a local place and just buy it? And
it's to be determined, man. That's all secretive. We're not going to tell anybody. So it's all coming out. You got to wait for the video, man. We gotta tease this.
Oh.
Do you guys see
that way people are super excited, and then they watch like the first 2 minutes of it and they're like, this is fucking dumb, and then they stop.
Or it's gonna be 2023 and we're gonna be on show number 397 and we're gonna be talking about this, and they'll be like, oh my, are you still doing that?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Spoiler alert. I'm getting a what's the one that you order off the internet that Mr. Cool. I'm getting a Mr. Cool system, and I'm gonna run freaking line on the outside of my house, and there's gonna be refrigeration lines like on the front of the house going through the walls and
somebody.
Was it Alex Meany on the video he did with Corbett or whatever? Somebody, I think it was Alex. He was saying he was trying to find all the performance ratings for those, and he's like, I changed my voice. I called in. I pretended I was a homeowner. I pretended I was a general contractor. He's like, they just don't have the data. It's not there. Period.
I don't think they just have it, dude. They're just like, honestly, I mean, to each their own. They probably do fine selling to homeowners and stuff, but they're just a company that rebrands something and pushes it out. It's literally just like 3 people at a computer doing marketing classes, and they honestly don't even know what they're selling.
They're that bad. Wow. I didn't know they're that bad.
I mean, I'm sure the equipment's decent. It's just probably made by Midea, just like every other mini split or something like that. But
yeah,
true. Not your idea.
Midea makes mini splits?
Or who makes the mini splits?
Mirage?
I think Midea makes some.
There's only like 2 or 3 companies that make them, and they make them for everybody.
We don't know stuff.
Lizardiga was saying 14 SEER is fine. Yeah, you're right. It is fine. You're actually right. Why not?
Well, Chris's electric bill is like $600 or $800 every month, though.
600. Well, actually, no, I've paid some $800 ones too. So
a month.
Well, he leaves his door open 20.
Yeah, the garage or something.
True. Yeah.
And his
hey, you know what? Speaking of that, since we're just about to push this boulder over of picking on Chris, you know what Chris told me this week when I was kind enough to share in our super secret chat some super awesome Christmas music that I love.
Oh, yeah,
and he comes back and he's like, I fucking hate Christmas music. And I'm like,
100%.
Wait a minute. The guy who has matching pajamas every year does the matching pajama picture for Christmas with his whole family, like that guy.
I'm going to stand up on my soapbox and say traditional Christmas music was invented by the devil, and it's the worst thing ever. Now, you give me like newer songs, remastered songs, like, or not remastered, but newer songs, but not the freaking Bing Crosby crap. That stuff sucks.
Like, how many times can I listen to Garth Brooks or Carrie Underwood or Kelly Clarkson sing some rebranded half hokey Christmas song?
So Chris Hughes asked me if I have an energy monitor. Yeah, I have the Emporia energy monitor. I've had it monitoring since August. So, yep.
So what is that? Where's your biggest draw?
My condensing unit. So, and then my indoor fan is the second biggest draw. So, because I have a split system right now, so it is my air conditioning system is my biggest draw.
PSC motor. You got
PSC motor, and then
super high static 1.27.
Yeah, 1.2 something or other. Yeah, it's ridiculously high static.
Nanometer.
What did see? I don't want to share all the numbers right now, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty bad. So, yep.
Nobody's writing down.
Yeah, don't talk about Bing Crosby. What's that? Is that the Bing Crosby that sings the song about date rape that everyone wants to ban?
Date rape?
No.
What?
It's cold outside.
Oh yeah. You also had Burl Ives, man. Burl Ives is where.
No, you know what? The thing is that I don't like about Christmas music is it's the same songs I've heard my entire life. Like I'm gonna piss off a lot of people, but I can't watch anything Charlie Brown. I can't watch a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
I can agree with you on that.
Those are just I've seen them. It was good the first time. That's it.
What about
the Christmas Story movie?
Now that I can watch Christmas Story all day long. They're making a part 2.
Die Hard.
I hate that movie so much.
Die Hard all day long. Now you give me a modern Christmas song like My December by Linkin Park. I like that. I like that.
That sounds super gay.
Chestnuts roasting over open.
No, I don't like that. I will say there is a song. What is the Christmas Shoes song? That one makes me sad and makes me want to cry. I like that one.
Shoes?
Christmas shoes. The one where the little kid goes to the store and he wants to buy Christmas shoes for his mom and he's in a hurry.
Oh yeah.
And then she's like dying. He wants to get them to her so she can wear new shoes to heaven. It's a really sad Christmas song, and that one gets me. That one gets me a little tear in my eye. I like that one. So.
Oh my god.
Now let's talk about something other.
Yeah, somebody in chat says, does a new inverter type system eliminate big and rush current? Can it be ran on a generator?
I don't know about being ran on a generator. I mean, if it's a big enough amp hour, I mean, if it has enough output, yeah, you can run it. But yeah, they reduce a lot of the inrush if they're sized right for sure.
And so, especially if it's like generator, even like those mobile homes. Chipmunk said a VFD will reduce it for sure. VFD, but you know what else could help is what are they called? Those smart
soft starter.
Soft starter.
Yeah, you can get a soft starter. Brian just did an interview with one of those dudes selling soft starters for the RV company.
Yeah,
or the RV industry. Yeah.
Do you remember what it's called? I forget the name of them. There's
a lot of the we watch a lot of RV families at our house, and they install soft starters on all the air conditioning systems in the RVs, so that way they can run everything off solar and batteries.
Right,
so, Chris. What does a soft start do? I mean,
it's some voodoo stuff, bro. It like has a bunch of capacitors and resistors, and it like microprocessors.
It's actually what it says. I believe. I think it just slows down the. I can't remember what it is.
It's not a VFD, but I don't know. Someone in the chat will say it.
Yeah.
Is this the one where it'll actually engage the contacts once the sine wave is at like the 0 point? So there's no.
I'm sure.
No
it's
something like that.
I would recommend listening to the HVAC School podcast.
Yeah,
if he has a guy on there, you get it. Go for it.
Yeah, we're not
like a hard. I think people might get mixed up with a hard start, right? It's not a hard start.
No, it's not a hard start, and it's not a sure start either. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
you know what's funny,
sure,
Joe?
sir.
I know you use Techmar a lot. I was actually talking to Techmar about a job I was doing, and they gave me a heads up on it. They said, because I figured ECM pumps, variable speed pumps, or circulators, you know, they use less draw, right? Less power.
Right.
Well, Techmar wants you to use a relay in between because their starting amps are higher and they will fry a Techmar control.
Oh, no way. Really?
Yeah, I did not know that. It's straight from the horse's mouth. The horse's Techmar.
So are we gonna not address the elephant in the room, the biggest news in our industry in a while? Apparently nobody knows.
We already did. We talked about your house project already.
Welcome, Clive. I think some are like big dimmer that ramps. Sorry, Chris. That ramps up from 0.
Clive?
Yeah, Clive.
I miss Clive. You know that? I miss watching the show. I miss having him on the show.
So busy.
Well, if you didn't have a potato for an internet router, then you could actually.
I wish I had a potato at this point. That'd be something. I have nothing.
Did you just figure that out, Mike B? We've all known that forever.
What?
Says Bill's gay.
Oh, okay.
Apparently Mike B just figured that out.
He
is.
So
he is
it was announced this week that Emerson is splitting off their company. They're selling all their climate division, which includes Copeland compressors, White Rogers, all that different stuff, for $14 billion. They're selling, 55% of their company. So they're going to retain 45% of it. And they're selling off 55% to a private equity company.
Who's that? BlackRock or Blackstone?
Blackstone. Blackstone is the name of the private equity company. And
Blackstone Cherry.
I was curious who their investors were, and I looked it up, and it's like JP Morgan and a bunch of banks, and it's literally private equity is buying the entire industry. They bought all the residential companies, they bought all the commercial companies. Now they bought Emerson, and
they bought them all except Adam's company.
Yep, pretty much. But I'm curious where that's going to take Emerson, because I was reading what was I talking about? They sold it for $14 billion. They're going to get $9 billion right off the bat in cash. But what were we reading? They only made a $5 billion net profit, or net sales last year was only $5 billion. So that's going to take a while. I mean, and so if they're going to keep, what is that, like $2 billion of that in their percentage, I mean, they're going to have to twist that company and start making some serious money to make that $14 billion back.
Squeeze on it.
I mean, I'm assuming they're in it for the long game, right?
Yeah. Let's hope that they don't destroy it.
Yeah. I'd love to hear Trevor's input on it.
Oh, yeah. That'd be interesting, Trevor. I'd be interested to hear. Did you hear about that, Trevor? That they sold?
He's in chat, guys. Refrigeration Mentor. You guys should check him out. But yeah,
I wonder if maybe that was one of the things that influenced his decision to move maybe a little bit faster into his own realm.
Oh, so he says Emerson will get better. Interesting. Okay.
Maybe that's why they sold, because Trevor quit.
Oh, maybe that's true. Yeah.
Big Clive, sorry guys, said about that inrush. Most bigger power supplies contain an NTC inrush limiter that is just thermal resistor that starts with a higher resistance that then lowers as it heats up.
Oh, like a negative temperature coefficient?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Facebook user. Who do you think that is?
Jim Davis.
Jim Davis. I bet you that's Jim Davis. Oh. I bet you it is.
Is he here?
Probably.
Oh,
so, Chris Hughes says,
okay, I don't see it.
That's a good point. Chris Hughes says tax shelter for Blackstone is his guess. Money had to be spent somewhere. That is true. But in researching my quick research on Blackstone, what I was also interested to know is they have money, but they only have $40 billion available for investments. So
wow.
That's interesting, because they spent a pretty big chunk of that $40 billion buying the 55% of Emerson. So see how that goes.
You know, I can't even imagine having that kind of, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, power, or that kind of ability to just move mountains and make these ginormous investments.
Yeah.
Chris can imagine.
Oh yeah,
Chris Hughes says it right there. Better than paying taxes. That's 100%. I'm literally doing the same thing. Instead of paying taxes, I'm gonna do some other things. So, yep.
Like what?
Drugs.
Spend your money on hookers and drugs.
It's a business expense, bro.
I like what you think, Chris.
It's a business expense. You know what? I'd rather give it to that than give it to the government. So,
yeah,
not what you said, but just to the other things I was thinking about. I'm not acknowledging your stupidity.
Since you have money to spend, Chris, are you going to the symposium? Did you decide?
I'm not going to be going to the symposium.
I'm
like 90% sure I'm not going. So
let's invest in some drugs and then sell them and then make some money. I mean, we're always talking about finding exit strategies and side hustles. I mean, nothing else we're doing seems to be working. So drugs, everybody in? Everybody good? Drugs it is?
We're going to Walter White this and like create a giant lab. What color is ours going to be? Purple?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, we can like tie-dye. We can probably come up with a good tie-dye color.
Tie-dye.
But it'd be real simple. We just hide it. We disguise this drug running company as a small HVAC company. When we all move together, which we can still do HVAC on the side and have a home office, and we just deal meth and drugs out of it, and then we deliver the drugs while we're doing service calls.
Did you guys hear that the $2 billion Powerball was won in California, like 20 miles from my house?
Oh, was it? Wow.
$2 billion. They're walking away with $1 billion if they take the cash payout.
Do they have to release their identity?
Yes, that's a California thing, and I do not understand that. You cannot accept your lottery winnings.
Oh, here's the thing. If you won, Chris, would you stay in California?
No, I'd move to Montana. I would buy
people that you're moving to Montana. It's supposed to be a secret.
I don't care. I would buy a giant property in Montana. I did not win the lottery. Okay. That's not why I keep stacks of fake money on my desk right here.
If I were you, I would change your name to like Jimmy Wiggler.
Jimmy Wiggler.
Yeah. You know, like, would you guys actually like think about it? Would you actually want to win that much money?
Yeah.
Like,
I would.
I mean, I'm somewhat hesitant because, I mean, you think about that. You got $1 billion. All of a sudden, you have one of the biggest targets on your back. I mean, you can buy.
But here's the thing, bro. Just disappear. I mean, it's one thing if you're really close to your family, but like, I'm not close to my extended family, so I don't even know if they have my number. You know, I'm sure they'd get it, but like, no, man. I'd tell my family I'd buy a giant amount of property in Montana, let them build a house like 100 miles away from my house on the property, and just let them. We'd all live on the same property.
Yeah, and if
you're gonna have a hard time hiding.
If any of you guys
hide in Montana, where are you gonna come?
You won the lottery, Chris. I'd be mooching off you left and right,
and I would probably help you, bro. You're a friend.
Awesome. See?
Buy it. And that's frustrating.
I try to kidnap you. Is what I do. I try to kidnap you and take all your money, or at least steal your identity,
and then call
like
Joe
make a
for ransom.
like that Face-Off documentary with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, where they like switch faces, and like I would do that with Chris. I'd just knock him out with some drugs, and then I'd have a doctor switch our faces, and then I have to like learn how to talk like Chris.
Except you hear that 3 feet taller than Chris. That's the problem.
I was watching an interview with Mr. Beast.
About that.
You guys know who Mr. Beast is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going with it.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with him, and he was saying how recently, and this happens quite often, so he wasn't surprised, but he has like a full security team and everything like that, and they protect him and make sure everything. But he was saying that private investigators that are around him, they get calls all the time for people wanting to know his exact location at that moment.
Gosh.
And so the private investigators have all gotten hip to this, and they all call his security detail when anybody's looking for him. And it was a random person that Mr. Beast did not know from Dubai that was calling and saying he was flying in today and he wants to talk to Mr. Beast. And I guess his security went and met the dude, and the dude, they were like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, I just have these ideas." And he had like a paper with a couple ideas for Mr. Beast, and he just wanted to hand him the ideas. That's all.
Did you see? He was talking about somebody offered him $1 billion to buy his channel.
And that was before his channel was what it is now. But yeah, that's nuts.
I mean, we've gotten a couple pretty big offers to buy the channel out, but we're trying to stay true to the HVAC community.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
What would it take to sell overtime? What would you guys take for overtime?
$20 in a Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't have mayonnaise on it, right?
As long as it has mayonnaise on it, right?
If you put mayonnaise on the Subway sandwich, it's the deal's off.
That's a good one.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Oh man, that's funny. Oh geez.
But see, you mentioned like having that much money though. Like that's what I'm talking about. The constant paranoia that I would have of like, all right, who's after me now? Like, I would have to live in a safe. I would live in a giant.
I wouldn't live like I wouldn't with that much money. I would not live like in where I live now. So no.
Cold cut combo.
But if I won like something a little bit low key that I'm still well off, like $5 million. $5 million, I'm not gonna get half the world looking for me or trying to kidnap my kids or my family or anything like that. So it's enough where I could retire.
Let's be. You couldn't retire off of $5 million because you wouldn't get $5 million. You get 2.5. Okay. You wouldn't be able to retire on 2.5, dude.
I bet. Yeah, I think so. I believe if you invest $2.5 million properly,
if you invest,
it has to be really good
residuals
for sure.
But nobody invests it. Everybody goes out and buys a mansion and freaking. That's the thing. People will go buy $1 million home and then they don't realize that they have to pay property tax on that home for the rest of their lives.
I wouldn't even move. I probably wouldn't even stop working. Honestly. I
think I would stop working for a couple months and then I would go back to some iteration, but it wouldn't be, I would never be stressed about work. Work. I'm sure there'd be other stresses.
I would immediately hire J-Dub and Gene Slade to come to the.
Hey, you might be able to 10x your $5 million winnings.
10x, he says. You're on there today, Chris. You're on it.
Yeah, Chris.
Ding.
Chris won. You could pay somebody to finish that house project for him.
William Payne says you could retire if you didn't change your lifestyle. 100%. 100%. But most people change their lifestyle and go nuts. So
no, not me. That's why I'd keep it low profile. Like I would tell nobody. Like nobody would know if I won. I could have won right now. You guys wouldn't even know. I wouldn't tell anybody.
I'm starting to appreciate because like I bought a Powerball ticket, but I don't ever play the lottery. Like it's rare. I only buy it when it gets like to the crazy numbers. But when you listen to Dave Ramsey says don't ever play the lottery. Just save your money. And honestly, for like a lot of people, that's probably the best advice ever. Just save
a lot of people. Yeah.
You ever watch those documentaries about the people who won big in lotto and how like ruined their lives? And it's more than a handful of people because you got to remember a lot of these people that win big, they have no idea how to handle finances, and most of them don't have the wherewithal to hire somebody who does.
Yeah.
Okay, mechanic. It says contractors installing a new 4-ton 18 SEER outdoor unit. They want to use a 7/8 suction line, but he looked up the recommended instructions and they specify 1 1/8 for 50 to 79 foot lengths. So the question is, I don't know the details, but there's some more information you need. What kind of 50 to 79 foot length? Is that measured length or total equivalent length?
Good question.
That's a really big point that I don't think residential manufacturers actually specify. I've ever seen it specified in their documentation.
They actually have a chart a lot of times where they have like performance data that will say if you use this other line set, it will be this BTU capacity or whatever.
It's actually a good topic because a lot of people come across this, and like Chris said, plus and you look at those charts, like how much will you like? Sometimes some of them say recommend, sometimes say you have to.
Yeah.
So, and then what will you lose efficiency wise if you do use the bigger one? Let's say
I'm kind of
not much.
I'm honestly kind of surprised that there's people like, maybe it's not residential, but residential, like I never see anyone recommending 1 1/8. But
I know.
Well, actually, I've installed a residential system that back in the day was
R22.
No, it was a 410A system, and it was a 5-ton. And in order to get like the 15 SEER, you had to run an 1 1/8 suction line.
Really?
410?
Yeah, it was a long time ago though. But yeah, in order to get the whatever SEER rating it was, you had to do 1 1/8. Now, I don't know what their logic was on it, but
the other thing is they might tell you to put an inverter trap. See, the other thing is, we don't think about it when we're here because our units are always in the basement. Okay, the evaporator is lower than the condenser, and we don't bother putting no inverter trap or whatever. But a lot of guys, where you guys are from, the evaporator is above the condenser. So a lot of times, maybe it is a good idea if you're going that long to put a inverted trap, maybe. But I think the evaporator is where they're designed to now. It's
but an interesting thing too, again, I know residential, it isn't worried about as much, but inverted traps probably add like 50 foot. I mean, they add a pretty big amount to your line set. Well, not 50 foot. You'd probably add 5, 10, 15. You'd probably add 20 feet to your line set by putting an inverted trap.
Yeah. So,
hey.
Some,
what I mean by again, we're not we don't go crazy into this, but we're talking about total equivalent length. What that is that's factoring in. This applies to ductwork and refrigeration piping. You're factoring in the bends and the resistance that causes the refrigerant velocity, whether, it slows it down too much. So there's a formula to figure out that if you have 790s and a 45, it calculates that each one of those 90s is worth, someone said in the chat, 5 feet or something like that. Like, so each one is worth 5 feet. So it adds to your length. So when people ask you what your line set length is, the real question is, are you asking total equivalent length or measured length? Because it does make a difference. Interesting thing, you brought up ductwork. I'm pretty sure we could talk about this. I've heard them talk about this openly. But TEC is going to do some testing to try to figure out and make sure that the ACA manual D fittings and equivalent lengths are the proper numeric value. Because
so they're like double checking it.
They're double checking it because he tested a few and they were not correct of the actual.
Oh man.
Yeah. So they're going to go through and I guess they're working with ACA, and this might change. It might change manual D. I'm just going to go on the record right now and say that I don't agree with Adam saying that they said he can talk about this. So that way, if they're mad, I didn't say we said, because I just heard him openly talking about it. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, guys. Jason, you were talking about what'd you say? They have preformed traps. Are you talking about, what are you trying? Because I know the EVAPs nowadays, I think they like, if you guys look at the EVAPs, the way they're designed now, the way they run the line to the TXV or whatever, it has like a little trap anyway, so kind of like
no, he's talking about a preformed trap and like you can get a refrigeration P trap that already has it, and you don't.
Okay, I was talking about the evaporator. I got it.
But I see what you're saying. Yeah, manufacturers will do different things. They'll do inverted traps and different things in their coil designs. Yeah,
cool. That was a good question.
So before the show, Adam was showing pictures that of a personal air quality monitor that you would wear, but this was an interesting one because it measured CO2, it measured CO, carbon monoxide, and what else did it measure? Oxygen levels.
Nice.
So, but the price point was a bit too much for me.
Did you buy it, Adam?
No, but Chris already has it in his shopping cart as we speak. I'm not putting an $800 necklace around my neck. Here's mine. Yeah. But nice. I was thinking about that, and I was telling Adam, I started to tell him a story, and I don't think I've told this on this show before, but I've been wanting to get a CO2 monitor badly. Because I work in a lot of beer walk-ins, and the beer walk-ins sometimes will have 50 to 75 beer kegs in them.
Oh yeah.
They will have CO2 monitors on the wall.
Good call, Chris.
But I wanted to tell Adam, and I'll tell the whole show. One time I went to an emergency service call for a walk-in freezer not working. And when I walked up, the manager was frantic, and he's like, my food is spoiling. And I opened the door for the walk-in freezer, and my tongue, I could taste something like bubbly, like sparkly. My tongue. I swear I could taste carbonation. Like, it was weird. It was like, what is that? And he goes, and I looked, the entire box was full of dry ice. He went and bought the entire load of dry ice from the grocery store, from their deep freezer, and shoved it in the walk-in freezer. And I go, dude, what? I said, open the freezer door, open all your doors in the building, and evacuate the freezer. And he's like, what are you doing? And I go, dude, you almost killed your employee. And he's like, what are you talking about? That is frozen CO2. And he filled the entire box with CO2. I wonder how that works. Like how much it actually off gases into the. And walk-in freezers are they're supposed to be airtight, bro. So there's no oxygen in that building. You stand in there for a couple minutes and you're gonna go. Yeah.
I use dry ice in my Pepsi.
Do you really?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb. No, but I want to get a CO2 like a personal CO2 monitor because of all the beer walk-ins. As I'm standing in a beer walk-in and I can hear a beer tap, when you tap a keg, I can hear it leaking because they're like quick release handles. And then you'll go over there and you'll have to reset the tap just to make it stop. But I'm just sitting here thinking, dude, I'm sitting in here and that's just leaking. And I'm working on this box brazing, creating like some sort of combustible gas that I'm breathing in too. And it's like, dude, this is a toxic mess.
And I was kind of thinking of you last night, Chris, not in a gay way, but I mean, at least not yesterday. That was my Tuesday adventure. But yesterday I did a overnight job and I had to change out an evaporator inside a walk-in, or not a walk-in, a reach-in. And so I'm like, I got my fat body squished up inside there underneath this evap coil, and I'm like brazing in there. I'm like, man, how does Chris do this? And I'm like, positioning my head so if it drips a little bit, it doesn't get in my eyeballs. But I was thinking too, like, even though I had both doors open, I was like, this is a very, very confined space. Like there's an immeasurable amount of CO building up in here. I'm probably going to die.
So Troy Belding's saying that dry ice in a freezer won't damage anything. The point that I was making though, is it's going to displace the oxygen. And then the customer goes in and out of the box to try to get their product. And one of the employees doesn't come out because he's standing in there. And next thing you know, he can't breathe. So that's what I'm concerned about.
Hey, Troy, by the way, good to see you.
Yep. So, but yeah, if anybody out there knows of a personal CO2 monitor, not a carbon monoxide monitor. I mean, those are good too, but I'd like a CO2 monitor.
Clive probably knows. Yeah.
I'd love to have one.
Jim Davis had. The one that Jim Davis has is like $200. I mean, that seems to be.
That's carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
Oh, what did Chris say? Dioxide?
Yeah, carbon dioxide.
Here, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
There's a good one for us.
Personal monitors, $1,000. That's more expensive than your $800 one, dude.
Oh wow!
But then again, who can put a price on my life? So we got to make sure. Maybe I need the $1,000.
I'm sure Jill can.
Yeah.
Actually, I think she'd make she'd walk away with $400,000. I think I have a $400,000 life insurance policy. So
she has more though with you alive and all your various sources of income.
Yeah, but the problem is I spend the money. Like I randomly buy things when I shouldn't buy them.
No.
Yep. I've been waiting. I don't know why, but I've been waiting and waiting for a PlayStation, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna buy one, and I ordered one. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Which one? The newest one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. I've been on a waiting list.
You said that was? You said that was some ridiculous amount of money. It's got to be more than what you said.
Wait, I found one, Chris.
Waiting list.
How much?
Ready?
Yeah. $40. That's too cheap, bro.
No, it's not.
This guy's gonna go in and die.
$40. You could buy. I would trust a Walmart carbon dioxide detector.
Sure. Quality, yeah. Have you seen
why don't we send that to Clive, and Clive will analyze it and tell me if it actually works, and then I'll buy it.
It's probably like parts.
There is something to that though, Chris. I know what you're talking about. Like you look at something on Amazon or whatever, and it's like, it's a little too cheap.
Yeah.
It could be great. Reviews could be great, but it's like, I don't know if I feel like I should pay more for a good quality of whatever it is that I'm looking for.
I found one in China.
So Al Anonymous is making a good point. He's saying that I could just buy an O2 monitor that'll just let me know when the O2 level is.
That's what I said earlier in the day.
Is it?
I said, yeah, you could just look at your 21% oxygen.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Oh, but wait, no, 21% oxygen. That doesn't mean, okay, so it does nitrogen displace, does CO2 displace nitrogen first or oxygen first?
I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
So I don't know if you could go off of that, because what happens if one of those gases displaces nitrogen first, but you still have enough oxygen, but just not enough of the other mixed gas, that it's a problem? Does that make sense?
What if you farted in the woods and nobody was there to hear it? Would you actually have farted?
Yeah, I think so.
No,
not according to you.
No, that's where the Blair Witch came from.
Tom Letch says that Hobo makes one of the Hobo makes data loggers too. So
Hobo?
Yeah, there's a company out there called Hobo, and they make data loggers and
stupid
air monitors and stuff. I bought some stuff from Hobo in the past.
I'll put next one.
I want to be a Hobo
because I believe Hobo's the one too. They make temperature loggers too. Because I've bought those in the past when I used to do hospital work. You'd have to buy data loggers for refrigerators and stuff.
They are expensive.
Yep.
Nasty HVAC. To Bill's point, I only wear methane monitor. Okay. Did you work at a farm?
There you go. Brett has a good idea. Brett says send him one of those cheap Amazon ones, and he'll take it next to a CO2 detector next to one of the racks, because they have high-end CO2 detectors in the rack rooms, and see if it reads the same.
Calibrate it with it, whatever. Yeah.
But I would be curious though too, with a personal CO2 monitor, what happens if you walk into an environment? Does it spoil the sensor? Like after it's been exposed to CO2, is it done? You know,
I bet if you ask Clive, he would know. He's like, actually, it's made of
Jim Davis talked about that in length at our class.
About what? A carbon, not dioxide. He talked about
monoxide. That's right. Yeah. I don't care about dioxide.
You were taking notes.
So another thing too, I kind of wanted to pick
dioxide.
I wanted to pick your guys' brain. Let me see what's in the chat, what I'm missing before I go any further. You guys see the article going around about the lady that's being sued by GPS?
Yes.
And all this different stuff. So
no,
I 100% agree that I don't like GPS. I don't like the Voodoo iWave thing. I have one installed in my unit and it doesn't do shit. But
what's the context of this? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a scientist that works and is on a lot of the air boards like ACA and different boards about air quality and different stuff, right? There's a scientist.
I don't know if it's ACA. I think it's ASHRAE.
She's on ASHRAE, yeah. A bunch of different boards. Anyway, she's a scientist and she's done a bunch of research about air cleaners, right? And so she did an article about bipolar ionizers.
It was an open letter. It was not an article.
There you go.
I don't know what an open letter is.
Yeah, I don't know. But it was, anyway, she was part of an article that was written about bipolar ionization. She had negative things to say about it. I'm paraphrasing. And then now there's a giant lawsuit from GPS targeted at her. And this is the kicker. It's targeted at her and another company that happens to actually there's a couple companies, but one of them is a manufacturer of an air cleaner. Okay. And that's one of the things that kind of irks me just a little bit about this. I'm not saying GPS is in the right. I'm not. Okay. But the question that I have is, does she have an affiliation with GPS's competition? Because we're out here supporting her. And she may or may not. I don't know. But I'm just saying, has anybody done the research before we go out there and say all this stuff, and does she have any affiliation with the competition is what I want to know. So I'm curious about that. But I will say she I follow her I followed one of her articles on social media. And I will say that one of the vice presidents of sales that used to work for GPS openly went into an interview where he left the company because of he's saying that they made false claims about a lot of their products. And you can actually listen to it on the internet where he's saying, yeah, after I read her article, I really hated her at first, but then I realized she was right. And there's some interesting stuff in there. It's very, very.
What is she claiming?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. What they're saying.
And just to clarify, GPS is not global positioning system. It is global plasma solutions, and they manufacture a bipolar ionizer. Which
I thought we were talking about giant.
I had no idea. I had no idea what you're talking about. Honestly.
No. So what?
That's what I got.
Supposedly,
no, that's what I have.
Supposedly, they published results on the cleanliness of the air, whatever. But their tests were done in the
fuselage of an airplane,
a small, like shoebox size container.
Yeah.
Which I noticed that, like, I don't know, years ago for whatever reason, because we were at the time we were selling those at the company I worked with, and that was one of the things I think
Clive's talked about this on his show. Yeah. When he did testing.
And one of the other things too is I think it's Boeing. One of the major aerospace manufacturers tested this, and they basically said this doesn't do anything. But on the flip side, GPS is set to lose damn near $1 billion because they're getting government grants and they're getting approved for government loans. They're providing their devices to school districts across the country and the government's paying for it. Like there's a lot of money at stake here. So,
well, now we're going to get sued because we're talking about it.
No, nope.
Nice.
This show isn't registered in my name.
They're gonna sue us, and I'll be like, "All right, here's the Subway sandwich that we earned."
And I am officially here on behalf of HVACR Tech Solutions. So, yeah, I fall behind that LLC umbrella. So,
shit, I'm not even here. All I got to do is stop talking, and nobody knows I'm here.
True that, huh?
I won't get sued.
And I also am from California, so I may or may not be intoxicated right now. So that's also a defense. So,
yeah. You also may or may not be trans. You also may or may not be, I don't know, something else.
So Dustin Cole's saying that she wrote about its ineffectiveness as well as their sales tactics. So again, I am not arguing for GPS because I certainly don't think, in my opinion, that device does anything besides. I don't think I shouldn't say it doesn't do anything. I think it does something, but I don't think that it does what they say it does. But that's my personal opinion. So I'm not saying she's not incorrect. I'm just asking, like, is it possible that she has ties to one of GPS's competitors? And if so, I don't know. That just kind of muddies the waters a little bit.
Like if she's saying GPS's product doesn't work, I mean, that kind of means like a majority of products very similar to it probably don't work either.
I don't think there's any other bipolar ionizers, is there?
I don't know.
They hold the patent to that. So. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah,
don't know.
I think you should buy the carbon dioxide detector on Walmart.
Let's do it.
I mean, it's either like $1,000 or $20. What are you gonna do?
Adam's really concerned about the health. Adam wants to make sure that when he app messages me that I respond
quicker.
He's like, I don't want to find out that Chris didn't answer his messages and I called him an asshole and then he was dead in a walk-in freezer.
Yeah, beer cooler.
That's beer cooler. Yep.
Sad.
Beer can cold, baby.
Beer can cold.
Well, no, it'd be even worse is if you did buy that one and then you died, and they were like, "Good job, Adam. You should have not recommended the Walmart brand life-saving device to Chris." You know he buys anything you tell him.
Yeah, he does. He spends his money like left and right.
Hey, Chris, Mike is saying, don't they use ozone generators in ice machines?
Yeah, they do. Manitowoc ice machine, but they actually serve a certain purpose. And I actually know that they're effective in ice machines. So ozone generators, what they'll do is they'll pump air through a regular UV light, and it's contained in a small little space in that ice machine, and it predicts or it prevents slime buildup. It reduces it. It doesn't make it completely go away, but it reduces it greatly. And it is effective in that because it's in a small environment and it helps to, prevent that.
So Steve asks, I wonder if those residential air filters that are hooked up to 24 volts work. They replace the lunge filters.
Aren't they electrostatic filters?
Those are like the dynamic and what's the other one called?
Isn't that what the lawsuit was with like Oric or whatever, or Sharper Image, where they were making the air purifiers that would snap because they would pop every once in a while because they were electrocharged or something like that.
Honeywells or whatever. But I think what happens with those 24 volt ones, it just creates like a static charge or whatever. And I think they work, but I'm not sure that those are the best product you could buy. Like I think me personally, I would much rather buy like a 4-inch media, a properly sized 4-inch media.
The tiny bit of research I've been doing into the whole indoor air quality and healthy homes and different, just trying to do my home project. Like, and I'm not even smart, right? I'm just a little bit into there, but I'm starting to wonder about all these complaints that I hear from certain technicians, like in the humid climates in the Midwest, that are complaining about some of these inverter systems and different manufacturers' products. Like, how many of those homes have massive air infiltration, you know, and hearing Steven Rogers talk about a story with him and Genry, where they essentially have found some crazy stuff with air leakage. So I'm curious how much of that is affecting, you know, the humidity levels in people's homes. And
probably tons. That's what, you know, I never thought about this before, but at the symposium, I was talking to Bill Spohn, and I don't remember how we got on the topic, but he was talking about humidifiers, and he's like, yeah, if you just seal up your house, you don't need a humidifier. And I'm like,
yeah,
really? And he's like, yeah, you don't need a humidifier if you have a tight house. I was like, damn.
And just thinking about
it, yeah,
thinking about the moisture that you yourself are off gassing, and think about washing your dishes. I mean, all that's minute, but if you have a tight house, you know, that stays. So it's a good point. It's a very good point.
There's something in chat. Gas smell, I think I've seen an old boiler ignition after shutting off. So gas smell after ignition shutting off, is it normal? The older boiler probably doesn't have an inducer motor, so I guess it could be.
I've seen stuff.
Me and Bill learned about this, right, Bill?
Yeah.
Tell him, Bill. You're a pro.
The leaking gas valve.
It's a leaking gas valve.
Well, remember way back, those Honeywell did a thing on, like, they had a bunch of Honeywells that they tested, and they were all leaking like a little bit percentage, and they failed. It was a long time ago, but yeah, I think if you just have you just check on the gas. I guess the only way to check is put a thing on the gas valve and see if there's gas leaking by.
Nope, that's not the only way.
What's the only other way?
Right, Bill?
No.
Well, please tell me, guys.
What you could do, you use a combustion analyzer.
Yeah.
And then when you're monitoring your carbon monoxide, and then you shut off the gas to the appliance, turn off the appliance, and then your carbon monoxide will continue to increase.
Got it. Yeah, you can do that too.
It shuts down. And that is a leaky gas valve.
So you got two ways to check it, manometer or analyzer. I know Honeywell had a huge callback, and they were leaking past their gas valves,
And then, anyways. Also not to state the obvious, but if you have a leaking gas valve, like, couldn't you just look at the flame and be like, yeah, the flame's still going? Because
I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if there's enough gas there to actually burn. Like,
it's just unburnt gas. But that's what's great about these newer boilers. So now they have an inducer, they have post purge, and a lot of times, if there is a little bit, you might just, do
you guys do you have hairs coming out of your ears?
Yes, that's annoying.
Yeah, that's a man.
A random ass question is that.
I mean,
dude, your ears, your ear holes like freaking itch bad.
Analysis.
Dude, my ear holes itch.
So bad.
I was thinking about braiding a couple of them.
Right, Cinnamon, you could.
What?
Making an ear hair ponytail.
Oh, okay. Braid it. Put some Kino styles. I got it.
Adam's got a leak in his house, and his brain is shutting down.
Right. Carbon dioxide poisoning.
I took one of those.
It's zero, baby.
You know the nose hair trimmers? Those things, dude, they pull a nose hair and they hurt so bad. You're just like, oh. I stuck one of those in my ear. It don't feel good, bro.
Work really good on your butthole too.
It pulls on your ear hole hairs. I'm not talking about
right in there and wiggle it around.
Yep. You guys ever see those ear hole cameras on like Instagram? I'm thinking about buying one of those where you can look in your ear hole and poke your eardrum out.
Yeah.
Those things look so dumb. I'm sorry. When I first saw those, I was like, dude, everybody's gonna shove that freaking camera through their eardrum. Like,
do you ever see the videos where the doctors make the videos of like pulling like 400 pounds of earwax out of people's ears? Those are crazy.
Yeah.
You see there's one where like they're pulling a bug. It's like a big old friggin' beetle that it's like something, and it was in another country, and it crawled in the chick's ear, and he's pulling it out, trying not to break it apart as he's pulling this giant beetle out of her ear.
Oh, what about the botfly videos?
Oh, those are gross, dude.
Oh man, those are awful.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as Mr. Pimple Popper. That dude's nasty too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, test valve with the holes in water works great for a test. Yeah. Nice, Jason. He's saying in commercial he sees a lot of secondary gas valves, and they're known as blocking valves. Is that like a high pressure regular valve? Like what's
he's talking like a gas train? Like
a
maybe that's what I'm thinking. It's on like on the train. I don't know. Not sure.
What's a
Jason
What's
posted
gas
some
train? That's more like it's bigger stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like the big boilers and
Did you
stuff.
see what he posted today, Jason? Oh my gosh. Damn it. That boiler. Wow. Posting great stuff.
Like I never got to work on them, but I had a couple of giant boilers out at the Detroit airport when I worked out there, and I read up on it because I was like, I'm gonna have to know how this thing works, and I pretty much forgot everything I read about. I never actually got to use any of that knowledge, but yeah, I think there was something like one valve would open, and that was like the safety valve, and then the other one was like the cycling valve, maybe.
Right.
I could be way off.
Yeah, he says on the gas train. Yeah, figures.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Not as cool as nose and ear hair, though.
True, that is true. Put in a small bottle filled with water. It bubbles is leaking. Yeah, of course. Both of them. Cool.
So what else is
you guys doing anything cool this week?
Today, of course, on a Friday, I had a leak in a package unit, and I was wondering where it's coming from. So this is the second or third time I did it. I went to Home Depot. I did have my camera, but this I think is a little bit more efficient. Went to Home Depot, got a piece of plexiglass, cut it the size of my door panel, put it on, grabbed the light, and just seeing the water falling off the evaporator and seeing where it's traveling. So I was worried because this unit has 2 units stacked on top of each other. So I was worrying it was getting too much flow on the upper and blah, blah, blah. But that was like my worst case.
Stages is it? Is it 2
Sorry?
Sorry? Is it 2-stage?
2-stage what? Sorry. It's you could say it's a dehumidifier, and it has let's say 6 tons and 3 ton pretty much. But
so I know Chris.
So
Chris
the lead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because if it's a 2-stage, I've seen Chris talk about this plenty of times in his videos, where the first stage will be the bottom half of the coil, and the second stage is the top half. And if the first stage isn't running, it's dry. Yes. That moisture wicks right off.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, where I'm at, we don't. Yeah, we'll have that issue where the air will pull it right off the coil because the first stage isn't working. That's a
good one.
Used to happen a lot on the old carrier package units because their evaporator coil was slanted over the return. And when that first stage would stop, the second stage would drip straight down the return.
Yeah, nice.
Most manufacturers have put their evaporator coils up right now, but still I've seen it where air will suck the water right off. Good point,
Chris. Good point, Bill. No, this has individual units.
So what was the problem?
So I realized I closed it. I'm gonna check it tomorrow. I realized on the back end of the evaporator, it's traveling down, dripping down, and going past and into the cavity on the reheat coil.
Interrupt you, Joe. Good night, Betty.
Good night, Betty. Our favorite grandmother.
Yep. Bill, your grandma said good show tonight, but she has to say good night to us all.
Yep.
I couldn't even see her because I don't have the internet.
Yep. She's wondering. Well, actually, that's why she's listening, because you weren't on the show. So
yeah, darn it.
She's been avoiding us because she doesn't like her grandson anymore.
Oh.
No, it's not me.
No. That was code, bro. She likes me. There's nothing wrong with me. That was messed up, dude. That hurt my feelings. So
that's Chris's kryptonite to find out that somebody doesn't like him.
Especially Bill's grandma.
Yeah.
His grandma loves me though, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. What was it she said about me?
She said, God, that guy's annoying.
Yeah.
She's like, man, that guy is such a piece of shit.
No.
Hold on, Grandma. Wow.
You defended me, right? You're like, that's my best friend, Grandma.
I was like, smack.
And then she said, You're forbid from ever seeing him again.
And then she's like, you never come back here again. You get out of here.
And don't take that beer head.
Mike B, I put 10 pounds of gas in the waitress region. Speaking of that waitress region, so I did a video where I have it was a multiplex system, and
is there a difference between waitress regions and waiter regions?
Yeah, good call. Good point.
Nope. Nothing at all.
One's got a wiener and one doesn't.
I made a video where I was working on a multiplex system, and I can't tell you how many people out there emailed me saying, Multiplex the brand, because there's a manufacturer that makes a brand and they named it Multiplex. No, Multiplex means that there's one compressor or one point where it controls multiple things. Okay. So in refrigeration, we're talking about one condensing unit with like 4 different evaporators and 4 different reach-ins. Okay. That's multiplex. But anyways, I was working on a multiplex system. The evaporators were leaking. I had to put a bunch of gas in it. So I was doing the quote for that today, that repair. Actually, I was sitting in the office doing the quote, and then I got a phone call right when I was just about done with the quote, and I got distracted because I had to go to work. And I finished the quote, and then I sent it, and it was approved instantly to replace the evaporators. But then after I looked at it, I realized I undershot the quote by $600. I was like, oh, fuck, dude. After the fact, luckily it's a good customer, but I realized that I didn't calculate something right. It was $600 shy, but I don't have that much wiggle room in the quote, but that customer's usually pretty cool that I can just go to them after and be like, yeah, I underbid that, you know, and then just get my stuff. But yeah, I was bummed when you get into a hurry. I was taking all this time to do the quote, and then I was like, oh, I gotta go, and then tried to finish it up and screwed it up. So
yeah, way to go.
At least I didn't underquote it and then also install the wrong equipment. So
sure. Yeah, that'd be stupid.
Yeah, I wish we had a drum roll there. That would be stupid, he says.
Man.
Yeah, Bill, what have you been up to this week, bud?
What happened?
What have you been up to this week? Anything interesting or what?
No, nothing interesting at all this week. Kind of slow. Nothing cool. Just thumbing through the combustion performance and carbon monoxide diagnostic book a little bit. But other than that,
did you test
nothing new on the horizon?
You test your new furnace yet?
No, I have had no motivation to test it for some reason.
Bill.
I have the tester in my van right now, though. But I don't know. I really should, because I can read about it all I want, but until I actually do it, and plus I could save a bunch of money if I tune in my furnace and
by changing the Geico or what?
Properly. No, I already did that.
Really?
Hey, so Bill, I took your whole eBay dinosaur obsession, and I've been like, the old tools and the old books and stuff. I got a new it's a refrigeration engineer's manual paperback book from 1936.
Oh yeah,
about that, dude. And then I got a service pointers from DuPont refrigerants from 1960, talking about how to use their refrigerant to charge systems. That has some interesting stuff in it when they're talking about sweeping the system with refrigerant. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
thanks, Chris. Good old way.
Yeah, it's really cool too. It's like old appliance manuals from like the 1950s.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, those are cool. I mean, they got cool imagery. I mean, I don't know, the verbiage in them is whatever. They don't really see anything cool, but it's just kind of cool to thumb through them.
I also ran into a viewer this week. I was actually working at a restaurant, and like I was going out to my van to get something, and some dude walks up and shakes my hand. He's like, "Yeah, I watch your videos." It's kind of weird when I'm like, "How did you know who I am?
Oh,
how did you know what vehicle I was in? Like, how did you know I was working here?" But he's a nice enough guy. He really was.
He called us, and we gave him a couple tips.
You told him?
They start off nice, Chris. They always start off nice.
Yeah. No, he's actually a very nice guy. I gave him some stickers. That's the other thing too. People that randomly run into me, I carry a big old stack of stickers in my van. So if you guys come up and say, hey, I'll usually hand them out.
I mean, I don't have a single sticker of yours, but I guess
didn't we send like 6 on a box, dude?
You put them on a box. Your wife did on the last thing that I ordered.
Did she really do that?
Yeah, she put them on the box.
I genuinely told her to stick like 6 stickers in the box.
Nope. They were all over the box. And like stuck to the outside. I'm like, well, those are unusable now.
Don't ever throw that box away, Bill. Don't ever throw away that box.
I had my hair dryer. I'm like trying to peel these stickers off of my hair dryer, the cardboard. Like,
I don't have any boxes either, or boxes. I have plenty of boxes. I don't have any stickers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nope. Never
so
had.
Nope. You sleep with a stuffed animal every night, Adam?
Yes.
Wink, wink.
What do you call your stuffed animal?
Winky.
Bobby.
Winky.
Winky.
Mr. Squishy Bottom.
Yep.
Well, talking about fans, I think Bill's being held captive right now by one of his fans. That's why you don't know, guys. We're trying to keep this on.
In a van down by the river.
Yes.
Yeah, she already broke my legs, so I couldn't go anywhere.
Do you broadcast from the bottom of an old well and then drop stuff down to you on a basket?
Lotion
on its skin.
I'm just in bed, and this big fat farm style lady broke my legs with a sledgehammer, and she says that she's not releasing me until we change our demeanor of the show.
This is for your own good, Bill.
I'm like, no, I'm not going to go back and rewrite my book. I'm not going to do
Bates in that movie, like, she did such a good job.
Kathy Bates has I don't know what movie it is, but she has a nude scene in a movie somewhere.
Sweet. I'm Googling that right now.
Cool, dude. Thank you.
Kathy Bates, that comedian?
No, that's Kathy Griffin.
No.
Thanks, Chris.
Kathy Griffin. She's an idiot, by the way. Yeah. She's the dumbest comedian.
She's been in a lot of political stuff. Like, she's a little weird.
Kathy Bates is
she pissed off Elon Musk.
Did she? Oh yeah,
she, impersonated him on Twitter and like copied his handle and then talked crap on him or something like that. Did you totally just see it, Adam?
See what? Oh,
that was the first.
You see his face.
Oh God.
Guess we can't monetize this episode either.
He didn't show it. Oh God, but you saw the look on his face though when he realized, oh, yep, that's.
Oh man.
Yeah, don't Google that, guys.
Okay.
No. Not safe for work.
Bill, Troy's asking, why don't you have internet?
Jason Johnson said the glory hole had splinters, so he's finding a new truck stop.
Oh God.
No, see, I don't have internet because I moved, and it's a newer house, and they don't have fiber optics ran under the ground yet. So I'm waiting.
So ask me this. How on earth are they going to bring fiber optics into your house? I mean, do you not have a foundation around, like, do you not have concrete all around your house?
Probably not.
So they're going to bring fiber to the street, but how are they going to get it to your house?
They just,
they already
ran the conduit and everything?
No, everything's already wired up in the house.
They do like an underground bore.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm thinking of like my house. I have like a 15-foot driveway going down to the street, and there's no way to get without going under my whole drive, and it's a whole slab coming up to my house, like all around it.
Bill's yard has tumbleweeds. He lives in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he lived in Michigan.
Yeah. No, my yard is basically from Arizona.
Bill Clyde
extra for that.
You know that in my grandfather's old house, this was about 10 years ago when fiber was still kind of newer, as far as going into homes. They brought fiber to the curb and then spliced it with copper and went from fiber to copper at the street. And then he had copper in his house, which I thought was the weirdest thing. So,
yeah.
Weird.
Dustin asked if you're going to do a blower door in your house.
Oh,
I am actually
answered that.
I'm disappointed because I wish when I was staying with Bill last week.
What I thought you were gonna do.
Oh yeah.
I wish I would have brought my computer so I could do a load on his house. I guess I could have just wrote all the information down, but I was
wait. First thing, tell us the story about what you guys screwed up at Bill's house when you were checking out his HVAC.
I did not. That was Bill. I didn't touch anything.
That was the stupidest thing.
What'd you do?
So I removed, it's a carrier system, so it's got the double doors, one on top, one on the bottom. Well, the one on the bottom is the one that has the door switch. That's it's got the blower door. It's got the blower in there. So I just took the top one off, the top panel off, took it off, showed Adam the burner and model number, whatever, and put it back on. And then I wake up like 8 hours later. I'm like, man, it's cold in here. And luckily it wasn't the middle of winter. It's like 65 degrees. So I'm like, that's not right. So I went downstairs and I'm like, somehow, when I was jostling around that top panel, I must have jostled that bottom panel, and that door switch tripped. So furnace is off.
Yeah. So here's the thing: I'm sleeping on his floor. It's colder on the floor, right?
Oh no!
When I'm going to sleep at night, I thought it was so hot in his house. My ears are turning red. It was so hot. Then I wake up in the middle of the night.
70 degrees.
Freezing.
And I got icicles hanging off of the earlobes.
Bill's trying to save money, guys. He doesn't give you good water either.
Oh man.
No, I had this fancy water out for Adam.
He did. He definitely did.
That's awesome.
He pulled
But he didn't drink any of it.
No, I was on a diet.
A water diet. Yeah, you didn't eat anything the whole time you're here except the high calorie lunches that we had in class.
Yeah, that's true.
No, Peter Smart. I'm sorry, I didn't see your question, but I'm reading through it right now, trying to find it.
I'm on the Jim Davis diet right now. I want to get down to Jim Davis weight.
Do
Is
it.
he skinny? Is he a smaller guy? Skinny dude?
He's the tiniest person you've ever seen.
Really? Oh.
I offered to carry him out of class.
Well, he did. We were kind of, after we took our test and we were sitting there, everyone else is leaving, and me and Bill were just sitting behind. He's like, "What are you guys waiting to help me carry stuff?" And Bill's like, "Yeah, Adam's gonna carry all your tools, and I'll carry you."
Peter, I can't find the comment. Post it again, dude.
Yeah, I seen a couple of his things disappearing.
I'm
so I
looking
don't
for your
know.
thing right now, Peter. Post it.
Yeah.
I'm looking for your thing, Peter. Post your Peter.
Yeah, Peter, post it.
No, don't.
He's emailed some great pictures. Like, wow, crazy pictures too. I should post a few of them.
What are you talking about?
Peter, he's
Are we
emailed
talking
me.
about?
That was a horribly
Oh my god, none of his
that was a
Peter, guys. Can
horribly
we end the show
timed
before this
comment,
gets
Joe.
nasty?
We were literally talking about him posting silly things, and then you're like, "Yeah, you sent me a bunch of really good pictures, man." It's like, what are you talking about, Joe? We were joking.
Oh,
You're over
God.
here.
Oh, Ted's here. Show's
Sorry,
over.
Peter.
Hey, I've reformed, Ted. I have reformed, guys. You have to tell me I've been good with my curse words, right?
Yeah. But I played a Kathy Bates thing where they were swearing, so that ruined everything.
No, they weren't. I mean, they were in the middle of something funky.
Yeah, they were bumping uglies or something. I don't know what happened.
Something slippery was going on.
Might be Joe? Question mark. Sorry.
Well,
yeah.
Is it time to wrap it?
Time, guys. Time.
That's all rapping, smacking.
Yep.
You gonna answer all my incessant questions tomorrow when I'm testing stuff at my house, Adam? And I'm messaging you, and I'm like, dude, how about this? And how about this?
Incestual questions.
Insistent, not
Yeah.
insexual.
Incest?
No, not
incest questions. I want to hear those.
I am from Missouri.
Why are you asking them towards me?
You're from Chicago, bro. Missouri, Chicago. They're like right next to each other.
I mean, you and your wife do kind of look similar.
Thanks, C.
Yeah, and I heard you have an upside down pineapple on your door. But that's your neighbors, bro. I forgot that was your neighbors.
Tried, but nobody comes a knocking. When the pineapple.
Ashton, don't worry. Next week, buddy.
This is getting really strange. All right, Joe, say goodbye.
Yeah, let's wrap it.
Goodbye, Peters. We all have Peters.
Why you got to take it there, Joe?
Don't on.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
It's like very trippy tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it is true. It's like glitching.
It's glitchy.
That one guy saying, "Wait, okay, we're waiting."
What are we waiting for?
I just got here. Well, entertain us. Tell us why you want us to stay. Thanks, Zach. See you, Jonathan. See, Mike.
Zach and Cody's in the chat. Isn't that a TV show my kids used to watch?
Which one?
Zach and Cody.
Oh.
Are we doing a podcast in the morning, Bill?
I don't know yet. I got to see. Because my whole family's here tomorrow, so I usually plan stuff and don't tell me till.
See you, Chevy.
All right.
Later, Mike.
Good night.
Wobbles.
Good night and good luck.
Yeah.
We're gonna, because we love you, like the Disney show when they were. What is that? Why? Because we love you. Oh, the Mickey Mouse show. Mickey Mouse Club. There you go.
Or you know.
Did you just finish?
Huxley.
In your pants.
Huxley is a really homey name. Greens. What?
So nasally.
I miss that guy.
Where is Yamo?
I don't know. That guy.
Yeah,
you never know. You click the button and he's eating pasta with no shirt on, with Jesus and Guadalupe Santa Fe behind him, and just like what?
Oh, dear.
We miss that Yamo. We want to see Guadalupe Santa Fe and Yamo eating pasta and ice cream without a shirt on.
True.
Yeah.
We missed our Yamo.
And fudgicles. Yeah. He sent us something the other day. What was it? You gotta watch when you open things around customers when Yamo sends it.
Oh my god, that guy! He sends these videos and it looks like HVAC videos or whatever, and it's like freaking
every time too. So like the one thing I say in the chat too is, hey Yamo, like let's keep the nudie pictures out of the chat, and let's just I don't care what you say, just keep the. And he always sends the pictures and then says, hope Chris doesn't get mad. And then 2 minutes later, he deletes the picture. Like whenever there's a deleted picture, I know that, and I see the comment below it, but he just deletes the picture. So it says, hope Chris doesn't get mad.
Yeah.
Like, he's testing your authority, Chris.
He's testing it. Yeah.
Oh, drives me nuts, man.
He's got
that one guy asks if we like menudo. I have never had menudo.
Menudo. I don't know what that is.
A good
stomach.
Yeah, a good abondiga soup. That is my favorite.
You do like abondiga.
No.
Yeah.
Soup.
You like boning a guy.
That is my jam, but I've never had menudo. So
I'm trying to find something.
Yeah, it's gross.
What about head cheese? You guys ever had head cheese?
Yeah.
I've heard that's absolutely rancid. I've never tried it.
Shampoo for
kidding.
Yeah.
Just the sound of that is like head cheese, like ooh.
I used to have head cheese, but then I got a circumcision.
Ding.
That's it.
On that note, I'm gonna press the button.
Yeah.